Hola guys and girls and welcome to week 6 of ICBA. We are up versus Aberforth and his Newcastle Umbreons. Once again, not so long ago we faced them already in the UDL. We thankfully could win here. But of course ICBA is a whole different story, whole different experience. It's on Wi-Fi, it's a new team. So yeah, hopefully you can repeat that, but of course there is no guarantee in that so far. Aberforth is not going too hot in the ICBA, he's currently 2-3. We on the other hand are going very hot right now, being 4-1, going into this being the number 1 spot in our season. So yeah, 2 weeks ago we had our very devastating loss, and we are still on the run from that basically to balance that out again with some wins, because of course we lost 6-0, we won 5-0, so we still need to win 1-0 one time to at least give the differential balance out. Of course we will never truly balance out the loss we got there, but yeah, that's basically enough of the history of the match. It's an out-of-division match. We had all of the division matches already done. I actually checked the fixture list, and actually don't have rematches with our divisional people. So we actually battle everyone in the... It's a similar style to the GBA, but we don't have rematches with our divisional partners. So we already had those, but instead of that, we battle actually all the other people in the league, which is cool as well. It's a bit... that means that you can make the player phrases not as exciting, because the rematches are very still very deciding for player phrases and stuff like that, and you don't basically have that. I already had them in the beginning, but it means on the other hand you can battle everyone in the league, which is of course nice as well. So everything has its pros and cons. So, and yeah, just so you know, we are actually not getting a rematch versus the 3 people in the beginning of the season, barring in playoffs, of course, if we manage to get there and there as well. But yeah, that's enough history. Let's go over Abe's team. He got the Tapu Bulu, Thunderous Therian, the Heatran, Suicune, Kyurem, the Shaman, Aerodactyl, Liepard, Primeape, Stunfisk, and Deoxys Speed. His 3 Z users are the Thunderous Therian, the Aerodactyl, and the Deoxys Speed. And looking at his team, the first one pops to mind is of course the S team on the Deoxys Speed. It's speedy. It's very fast, very good coverage, not as strong, not that bulky, but it can be very bulky because it has like the Crobat effect, I want to call it. Crobat is not a bulky mon itself as well, but because it's so speedy, it basically outspeeds everything, and you can invest a lot of in bulk because you don't need to invest a lot in speed. And with that, it has speedy recovery with Roost, and with that, it basically gets a bulky mon potentially. And same you can do with the Deoxys Speed. You don't need to invest a lot in a 180 base speed to outspeed the opponent's whole team. And then you have a lot of EDs left to put in bulk potentially. So yeah, it can be strong. It's not really strong without setup. You can of course go for Calm Minds and all this good stuff. But it can be bulky. It can be hazard lead, which I don't think he is. So far he's not playing it as a hazard lead, because I think that's quite of the waste of Deoxys potential in a league like this. In Ubers it's fine, but not in here. But yeah, so that brings to mind. It's a decently good threat. Like it outspeeds my whole team, of course, even a good amount of my Scarfers. But I don't think he would bring a very bulky one. I think he will bring a very fast one, which still outspeeds the Blaziken after 1 speed boost. So that is something to look out for. And yeah, other than that, biggest threats to my team are, in my opinion, the Thunderous Therian for once. Because Thunderous Therian with the Z move is just way too scary. My team, you already know, my team doesn't like electric types too well. 2 of my prime defensive mons are both weak to electric, my Skarmory and the Melodic. So I have to think about something dealing with the Thunderous Therian. Then Bulu, I have usually Bulu is a huge threat, but once again, I have the Skarmory, which is a very nice check to that. But once Skarmory goes down, of course, the Bulu is a problem. But he might not even bring Bulu because of the Skarmory. Basically similar to the Excadrill and stuff like that we faced before. Skarmory is just... That's why I love Skarmory, because there's so many mons which are huge threats to any other team. But if you have a Skarmory, you're fine. That's why I like it a lot in League format. And yeah, then other big threats to look out for are the Suicune. And yeah, Suicune is the main one, because a bulky Calm Mindset is annoying. It could be like more like a Protect Toxic variant with like 2 Toxic stall everything. Like, you know, that runs on the ladder like Sub Protect, Toxic, and then you can stall them out of the current moves with Pressure and Toxic all the ones down. But it could be something like that. It could be Calm Mind. It could be just straight offensive. But I think these are the biggest threats, 3 threats. Funny T, the biggest threat of all, because if this setup and potentially Z move, it can potentially just run through my team. So I can't allow it to set up at any point in the game, basically. Then we got Deoxys Speed. Deoxys Speed, I have a very difficult time to predict what kind of Deoxys he is, what kind of coverage he will pack, because there's so much coverage you want on the Deoxys. He could just be Bolt Beam, Psychic, and like Recover or something like that. With a Life Orb. That could be a good set with me, but it could be something more setup variant. Sorry for that. So yeah, I think I will have to scout more in-game what kind of variant he is. And then the other big threat, of course, is the Suicune. The rest of this team, of course, there's stuff like the Kyurem, the Shaman, the Heatran I have to look out for, and the Bulu, because I have checks to all of those mons, but if my checks are weakened, I don't have that good of a check anymore. And Shaman actually is a decent threat for the team abroad. Usually I don't have you'd have big troubles with Shaman because of the Roserade. I have actually a very nice check to that. But like you can see already on the left, I can see the team the whole time. I don't have Roserade, so Shaman could be a problematic threat as well. I'm thinking more of a defensive Shaman for my DGSP and stuff like that, but he might bring a Tapu Bulu for it as well, because like I said, Tapu Bulu is not that great with my team. I'm thinking more if he brings one of his grass types, it's gonna be probably the Shaman. But yeah, that's enough of his team. Let's go over mine. First up, we start with our Choice Scarf, which actually Choice Scarf Sneasel of Knockoff, Icy Crash, Pursuit, and Low Kick. I wanted something that can outspeed the Deoxys speed. As difficult as it sounds, I wanted something. This thing does it. I have enough speed to outspeed other thing up to a Scarf, Thunderous Syrian with max speed, then Knockoff Ice Crash, Pursuit, Low Kick, just the best coverage, Knockoff Ice Crash, of course, main steps, Low Kick there for the Heatran, and a lot of things, like the Heatran, the Kyurem, and the, I think that's it, yeah, these are the two heavy ones which are weak to fighting, and then Pursuit, so I can potentially Pursuit Trap the Deoxys speed. Chaos. Once he knows I'm Scarf, he knows I'm speed him, he's more inclined to switch out with me, and then I can reveal the Pursuit and basically get rid of him. The first turn, he might actually stay in versus me, because he thinks he's faster. I can like go for any attack to kill me, because he's not that bulky, and I can just go for knockoff and kill it. Either way, I want to have a very fast one, just to be sure to outspeed the Deoxys. I don't think he would run extreme speed on it, even if he does, it's not too powerful, because like I said, Deoxys is not the strongest one without setup. But, yeah, I don't really think it would run extreme speed because it's just way too quick already. But yeah, that was my Camtasia. Let's go for Amazica next. The Gracium Z Special Blaze can this time Fire Blast, Solar Beam, Low Kick, and Protect. Yes, I'm bringing the special variant this time, Max Protect with Fire Blast and the Gracium Z Solar Beam there for the Suicune. Because he might be most likely expecting the physical variant. And then he might predict the Z Thunder Punch on my Blaziken, on the Suicune. I want to bring something else. I want to bring a special variant because it might catch him off guard, and Fire Blast is very nice for this team. The only monster I have to hit with fighting attacks are basically the Kyurem and the Heatran and the Aerodactyl, which all are hit by Low Kick for very nice damage. Heatran and Kyurem, of course, the mons which already have max damage for versus, so Low Kick is 120 base power. Versus Aerodactyl is sadly only 80 base power, because Aerodactyl is not as heavy as the other two, but it still does a butt ton of damage, because Aerodactyl, of course, is not the bulkiest mon. And yeah, the rest I can just Fire Blast. Like Voodoo Fire Blast, Fundy Fire Blast, Heatran Low Kick, Suicune, Z Solar Beam, Kyurem Low Kick, Shaman Fire Blast, Aerodactyl Low Kick, Lightbite Fire Blast, Primal Fire Blast, Stunfisk Fire Blast, potentially even Z Solar Beam, how things turn out, and then Deoxys speed, of course. I have enough speed so that after one speed boost, I outspeed a max speed Aerodactyl, and after two speed boosts, I outspeed the Deoxys speed. Guaranteed. That's what this speed is for. I've just max special attack and the rest of the attack, so I can do more damage. I can basically, even only this little attack investment and a minus defense nature, because I want to minus defense because a lot of mons I rather take a special hit from, which I potentially, like the Heatran, I resist both steps. I might take Ice Wings on Kyurem, I might take Seed Blast on Shaman, all this good stuff. So I rather have minus defense nature, because its only priority he has is like extreme speed on the Deoxys and Sucker Punch on Liepard, which of course wants to resist it, and extreme speed on the Deoxys not that likely. So, yeah, and then Protect, of course, to get the speed going. So after one speed boost, I can Protect once and guaranteed outspeed the Deoxys speed. But, yeah, I have Low Kick over High Jump Kick, of course, because if I don't have to risk the miss with High Jump Kicks or him having Protect, because all his monsters are so heavy, I rather run Low Kick on my Blaziken. So, yeah, that's the Blaziken set. Next up, we got leftover mixed defensive Skarmory with Bravefoot, Ironhead, Stealth Rock, and Roost. Just my main Stealth Rocker. Bravefoot, Ironhead is my main attack. Like, it's pretty straightforward, this set. The investment is the more funky part. I have enough physical defense so that I'm not 2-hit KO'd by anything if Choice Bandit Bulu wants to throw at me, and I have enough special defense investment so that I'm not 2-hit KO'd by anything non-Life Orb or non-Specs or non-boosting item. Basically, Shaman can 2-hit KO me. Hidden Power Fire from Shaman with max special attack, no item, does not 2-hit KO me. So yeah, kind of mixed defense right here as my best check I have to the Shaman. If he is a Life Orb variant or Choice Specs variant or Expert Belt variant, something like that, this Skarmory is not as good to take it on. Of course, he still needs to catch me on a prediction, because Seed Flare plus Hidden Power Fire of course won't kill me, barring he gets the drops. I don't even know if all the drops might not even kill me. No, wait, well, because it does double the damage. But yeah, then I can bring the Hidden Power Fire, switch around, blah blah. You know the deal. Let's have Bravefoot to hit that thing, then you have Ironhead to hit stuff like the Bulu, hit stuff like the Kyurem and stuff like that, because this is a good check to the Kyurem as well. And yeah, just in general, getting rocks up, roosting, and taking on some mons defensively. Next up, we got actually our next defensive mon, which I'm a bit surprised. We got specially defensive Diggersby. This is my meme set of the week, basically. This is there to check the Thunderous, because nothing on my team checks really Thunderous. If he brings Thunderous, I think he will be Zeep Psychic for Roserade, because Roserade would be the best thing to take it on. He might even be Hint Power Flying instead, and the other move. I don't know really. Either way, I have specially defensive Diggersby to take it on. Enough speed to outspeed and no speed Suicune. And then Earthquake, Ice Punch, Psychs, and Recycle with the Aguav Berry, which heals me 50% once I'm below 1/4 of my HP. So that is nice. With Recycle, I have quote-unquote reliable recovery. Not as reliable, of course, but it's something. And then Spikes, because its only hazard removal really is the Aerodactyl. So hazard stacking is a very nice option. Then I still have Huge Power. I was a lot thinking about putting Cheek Pouch on him with Citrus Berry, because then I heal 60% once I'm at 50. So that means I basically get full health back every time I'm under half. Or at exactly half, or 40%, something like that. But I need Huge Power to actually do damage to his team. If I don't have Huge Power, this thing is so weak. Like, Ice Punch is not even free KO versus Thunderous, potentially. So I still need the Huge Power to do some good damage. And Ground Ice is very nice coverage for this team. Bulu, I hit with Ice. Fundy with Ice. Heater with Ground. Suicune is like the best. Suicune, Kyurem, I hit with Earthquake. Shaman, Ice Punch. Aerodactyl, Ice Punch. Liepard, Earthquake. Primeape, Earthquake. Stunfisk, Earthquake. Deoxys Speed, Earthquake. So very nice coverage. It's not an offensive variant, because I needed something to take on the Thunderous more reliably, and that's what my special defensive Diggersby is for. Let's see if it will work. It's something more of the surprising stuff, and I'm definitely very excited to use it, and hopefully can put in a lot of work. But yeah, next up, we got our last defensive mon, which is the Milotic Mixed Defensive with Scald, Dragon Pulse, Haste, and Rest, because where Skarmory is my more physically defensive, and Chad my more special defensive mon, there are some mons which I can take on, for example, like the Kyurem. Both cannot take on the Kyurem, and that is Milotic right here. Both can take on the Suicune as well. That's what my Milotic here as well for. I have Rest, Haste, Dragon Pulse, and Scald. Dragon Pulse mainly for the Kyurem. Scald just a general stab. Haste to get rid of combined boost on anything, mainly the Suicune. And then you have Rest, just so in case he is like a weird stalling toxic variant with Suicune, I can win versus him 1v1. The only way he could win with me 1v1 with Suicune is if he goes the PP stalling route. And going PP stalling in a Wi-Fi game is basically not really possible just because of the timer. If I need to force him to knock out mons before, I don't think he will go that route. It's a legitimate strategy in Showdown, but on Wi-Fi I don't think that's something Ape is looking forward to. But if he does, I have to play accordingly, basically be more aggressive versus Suicune so it doesn't come down to a timer win for one of us. But yeah, the investment is there. I am physically defensive enough to take on... Let me look at this thing again. I think I'm physically defensive enough for what am I exactly? I think the Aerodactyl. Look at this team. Looking at this team right now. I'm specially defensive. I'm definitely specially defensive enough so that I can take on the Kyurem without a problem, even with coverage moves. But I don't really know what the physical book is for now. Looking at this team, this is for Aerodactyl. I should probably do some calcs. I'm just mixed defensives. I just calc with Spadef so I can take on even a Choice Vex Hero with this. And so he can't like 2-hit KO me with Dragon Pulse. Draco could 2-hit KO me, but of course he gets the drops, so he basically needs the crit to KO me. But Dragon Pulse doesn't 2-hit KO me from his Vex Hero, and then I probably just put the rest in defense because I don't need Spadef and I'm a bit more bulky in the physical side. But yeah, that's basically Milotic. Looking at our last, this time an offensive mon is German Wings, the Latios, Expert Build, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Roost. This is my more offensive check to the Suicune. I was thinking a lot about putting Earthquake on this, but in the end I needed the Thunderbolt. Ice Beam and Dragon Pulse is just way too nice with this team. Dragon Pulse, of course, mainly there for the Kyurem to revenge kill that, and then Ice Beam Buru, Ice Beam Fundy, Ice Beam Shaman, Ice Beam Aerodactyl, Ice Beam Freeze the rest. But basically his team is decently weak to Ice. And then a Thunderbolt there. Thunderbolt is basically there just for the Suicune, and now that you can see the full set, it's all as well the best thing to hit the Heatran with. But since I have the Milotic on the team, like I had a lot of trouble finding the right team. Before I didn't have Milotic, I had Roserade, and with Roserade I needed something to switch into the Heatran more, and that's why I had Earthquake on this before. But with Milotic, I basically can always switch into the Heatran, which is not a big problem. I decided to not have Earthquake on my Latios. Extra Build is just there so I can once bluff the Scarf, maybe it doesn't expect me to roost or go for another mon, and because this coverage hits a lot of his teams super effectively. I hit the Budu super effectively, the Fundy, the Suicune, the Kyurem, the Shaman, the Aerodactyl, and the Stunfisk. So 7 out of his, is it 11 or 12 months? I don't know, like more, definitely half or more than half of his team. I hit so effectively this mon, and Dragon Pulse is generally good stab with his team. The only thing to resist Dragon Stab, of course, is the Heatran, and weighing that thing down is awesome, because that thing is a pain to take down, and that doesn't have reliable recovery, so I can wear it down if I get my Hazard set up, because like I said, Hazard stack is what I'm aiming for. And yeah, as long as it doesn't burn me, even my chat is a good switch to the Heatran, because I can Earthquake it and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the full team. You will see the match tomorrow. Let me know in the comments what you think about the team. What do you think? What will work the best? Who will be the MVP? What is the biggest threat on his team that I overlooked? Either way, that is all from me. I will see you tomorrow for the match. And yeah, hit me on Twitter, Facebook. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.